I checked my weather apps today and I was hoping we were going to be in for a nice sunset tonight, but weather apps are notoriously unreliable, particularly when it comes to cloud cover, at least here anyway, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. It could be a bit flat. We probably get some light, but we may not get an interesting sky and sunset, I don't know. Whatever we find, whatever happens, as always, I'll try and make the most of it, and I hope you'll enjoy coming along. If you enjoy this one and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. Some of the weather apps are really appallingly bad at predicting the weather that we get around here. Some of the apps, you can have clear blue skies and bright sunshine and it's telling you it should be chucking it down with rain. Probably the most reliable one that I've found is one called Clear Outside. And Clear Outside actually also specialises in giving you cloud information. Now, to be fair, it's pretty good at the general weather stuff, but even that one doesn't do a great job on cloud predictions. Today, I think it might be nearly there. Maybe it's just my interpretation of it that's not doing so well. According to Clear Outside, for this evening we should have a very high percentage of high cloud, no middle cloud, no low cloud. Now, that can be great conditions for sunset because there's nothing to stop the sun breaking through, but that high cloud can pick up the light. But it does depend upon the nature of that high cloud. And at the moment, I think it is cloudy. I think there is a general cloud, but there's no texture. It's quite flat and it's very, very thin. Now, admittedly, it is supposed to be getting thicker, or the percentage of cloud is supposed to be increasing kind of on the lead up to sunset, so we're a little bit early yet. But whether we're actually going to get anything interesting, I don't know. Nevertheless, I decided to come out, and if we get a great sunset, obviously I'll photograph it, but I'm not going to just hang around for that. When I come out to do these things, I like to play around and do other stuff as well. So I am on Cap de la Horta, or Cabo de la Horta, which is just at the northern end of Alicante. Up there behind me you can probably see the lighthouse or faro. I photographed that quite a few times, and that's probably going to be my main subject again today if we get a nice sunset. But while we're here, there's quite a nice bit of coastline here, kind of rocky, and it's reasonably unprotected. It sticks out a long way. So, we're getting some reasonable waves coming in. Nothing massive, it's a fairly calm sea, and in fact where I live, which is much more sheltered, the sea is very, very flat, or fairly flat. But there's some quite reasonable little waves coming in today that might give me something interesting to photograph. So let's see what we can find. We'll have a wander around and see what grabs my eye. Now, on a rock out there's a load of gulls and at least one, maybe more, cormorants as well. I'm going to go further around in a minute, but I thought I'd shoot them from this angle first, and then I'll go further around and see if there's another angle I can get them at. Going to be a better angle, I think. I think I got the cormorant as it sort of kind of flew across. Just not 100% sure. I got it sharp. I'm not sure exposure time was fast enough, but I'm hoping it might be. Got an interesting little shot here. There's like a channel that runs through the rocks here, and the waves are coming in through it. There's all this sort of green algae and stuff on there. I'm shooting it reasonably wide angle, probably around 22 mil, and I've got a 3-stop ND on, which is just getting it down to about, what, quarter of a second, I think? Yeah, quarter of a second. And I'm just waiting for the waves to come through to create a nice effect. Need some bigger ones to come through. Come on, all the way up, all the way up. That's it, that's what we want. Kind of getting up towards decision time for sunset. We've got about 25 minutes until actual sunset, and normally when I've shot this location I've kind of shot it from over there where I was earlier, and that means I could probably include the actual sunset in the scene as it sort of disappears over Alicante. But what I'm struggling with over there is I can't find a composition that I think is going to work today. There's normally some like pools of water on the rocks that I can use as a foreground, and it can reflect the lighthouse. And sometimes you can use the waves, but there's nowhere I can really get into the waves. And in any case, I think if I'm going to use like breaking waves as the foreground, I need probably a bit of drama in the sky, and I think what we're going to get is going to be a bit much more kind of delicate. And for some reason the big pools of water that are normally over there are missing. As you may or may not know, we get virtually no tide here. You actually get a bigger sea height change through wind, through just a gentle breeze, than you do. Somebody's flying a drone around here. It's really rather noisy, that one. But you get more sea change height just from a gentle breeze than you do from any kind of tidal impact. What I've actually done is come around to where I started out a bit earlier, and there is a pool here, and it will reflect the lighthouse, and it's going to give me a different view to anything I've shot before, which is good. So I'm going to just kind of have a little play around. I think this is probably going to be another fairly low down shot to make it work. I don't think I need to get into the pool, but certainly pretty close to it, and then just hope that we get some nice light in the sky. There's certainly some light cloud up there which looks quite pretty, so it might work. We might get a nice light up either at sunset or shortly after. I think I've got a composition here that works. What I've got is the lighthouse and the buildings around it. very noisy drones, and they're flying very fast. Must be racing drones or something, I guess. What I've got is the lighthouse and the buildings around it on top of the hill, and then they sit above the horizon or above the centre line, and then below the centre line we've got the reflections. Now if that sky does light up, if we get some nice colours in there, that could look pretty nice. Just gotta make sure it's level. So hopefully it could look nice. Now what I've got the option to do now, of course, is to flip over and maybe shoot a horizontal version. I can zoom in a bit, I can zoom out a bit, depending upon what the sky does. Actually got the light on the lighthouse now, so that might add a bit of extra interest. There's quite a nice band of cloud kind of over this side here. Just come up and across a little bit here, but that's going to be largely out of the frame for the composition that I've got. Okay, so the sun's setting over there, and we're getting this kind of angled glow coming in from one side. Unfortunately, it looks like we've got pretty much clear skies over the lighthouse itself, which is not what I wanted. Now I could try angling that way, but then I'm going to get some houses in over there. Okay, so that cloud is moving the wrong way. Basically it's going across the scene that way. It's kind of creating a wedge shape coming in to the side of the lighthouse. Now there is a very faint bit of cloud over that way, which should be coming this way. If it comes across in time, it might just kind of fill in the bit of sky over to the left a little bit, which will just improve things a bit. There's quite a nice sort of warm glow in the water down here. I've gone over to a horizontal format just for a minute, just to try and bring in a bit more of that glow, still keeping the horizon, if you like, the centre of the reflection line across the middle of the frame. The sun went down nearly 20 minutes ago. I'm just waiting a little bit. I don't think the sky is going to light up. I'm just waiting for it to get a little bit darker, maybe do something that's kind of edging towards the blue hour, but without a lot of cloud there. I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to work, but we'll give it a few more minutes just to see. Starting to get quite dark now, nearly 30 minutes after sunset. I've kind of zoomed in a little bit, sort of 22 mil, to try and get that a bit more of the lighthouse being a feature. Okay, it's getting pretty dark. I've got the torch on now so you can see me. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, likes, shares and comments are always really appreciated. Don't forget to check out my recommended viewing at the end. If you've enjoyed this video and you're new here and you want to see more of my stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. So thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.